All right, it's pretty obvious that the Biden DOJ is attempting to prevent Donald Trump from ever even running for president again. Instead, the new fishing expedition is driving up enthusiasm. Guess what? Among conservative voters, just in time for the midterms. Look at this key race in Pennsylvania between Washington outsider Dr. Mehmet Oz and lifelong part-time government worker, trust fund brat John Fetterman. This guy, by the way, never had a real job in his life. It's now drawing national attention. Fetterman is the guy in the tattoos and the hoodie, never worked a real job in his life. He lived off mommy and daddy as a real trust fund brat. He apparently paid $1 to buy his home from his own family. He is a devout Bernie Sanders-loving socialist who, by the way, said, what Bernie wants to do to the country, I want to have happen in Pennsylvania. He wants to legalize heroin, supports abortion until the moment of birth, no restrictions. He also wants to release murderers and rapists from jail in order to reduce the prison population by a full third. He supports the radical Green New Deal. Bernie supports him. AOC supports him. Elizabeth Warren supports him. He wants massive tax hikes. He's against fracking, oil and gas exploration in the Keystone XL pipeline. That is an $80 billion industry of high-paying career jobs in the energy sector in the state of Pennsylvania, and he wants to wipe all of it out. And then he wants to weaponize the federal government against you, the American people, and American businesses. And unfortunately, Fetterman recently suffered a debilitating, frankly, crippling stroke and has been physically and mentally unable to campaign. In fact, he's only campaigned in person for a total of 15 minutes since winning the Democratic nomination, including a very short, very confusing, and frankly, very sad 5-minute speech from earlier today. Take a look.
Let me ask you a question. If you say you think the word of steelworker, what words come to your mind if you say steelworkers? You know what comes to my mind also is making sure that I'm going to be proud to stand and defend the union way of life here if I make it to D.C. Being anti-union is anti-American. What is wrong with demanding for an easy, safe kind of their income, a path to a safe place for them to win? To work. Thank you for endorsing me on first day of my campaign.
That was a little over 4 minutes, and that was it. As of now, the Fetterman campaign is refusing to debate Dr. Oz, also refusing my invitation to appear on this program, as he and his campaign have been lying about me, raising money off of my name. He apparently sent yet another fundraising text today attacking me, lying about me, calling me a liar. Every day he lies about me, I'll continue to tell the truth about his radical, extreme positions, way out of touch with the hardworking people of Pennsylvania. And by the way, my trust fund brat friend, when you attack me, I will attack you back 10 to 100 times harder because you're a lying loser and raising money for your losing campaign. He may be hearing from my lawyers very shortly. He better hope that mommy and daddy have enough money to pay his legal bills. Anyway, either way, it does appear that the socialist is mentally unable to debate. And if you're watching from Pennsylvania tonight, I want you to think about this. If Fetterman is too weak to do an interview with little old me, how on earth is this guy going to stand up for you in the Senate? He won't debate Dr. Oz, yet he just sends out tweets and fundraising letters. That's it. He's campaigned a total of 15 minutes. That's it. In the entire general election campaign. You can't be senator if that's all the time you're going to give the people in your state. Here with reaction, Arkansas GOP gubernatorial candidate in her own right, Sarah Sanders is with us, and along with Fox News contributor Lara Trump. Sarah, we'll start with you, get your take on this race. If you say in Pennsylvania that you want to support Bernie Sanders and what Bernie wants to do for America, you want to do for Pennsylvania, and you want a moratorium on fracking and all energy production, which is $80 billion for that state, and you support abortion with no exceptions at all up to the moment of birth, I don't think this guy is too in touch with the people of Pennsylvania.
I don't think he's too in touch with anybody. It is absolutely absurd that this is the Democrat candidate for the U.S. Senate in Pennsylvania. But I think he encapsulates everything that is wrong with the Democrat Party right now. And you have a party that is moving every single day further and further to the left. This is no longer Biden's Democrat Party. This is Bernie Sanders and AOC's party. Just look at what we're expected to see tomorrow coming out of the White House with a complete and total wipeout of student loan debt and forgiveness of student loans. It's going to make inflation worse. And frankly, they don't care because it's a blatant attempt to buy votes. And they are looking to do things that will help them in November because they know that the policies they've enacted over the last year and a half have caused us to have a recession. They've put a absolute turmoil on our southern border, and every single thing they touch, they're destroying. So now they have to look at how they can buy votes through programs like student loan forgiveness. But they just keep moving to the left, and the only good thing is that that further fires up Republicans to turn out and show them the red wave that's coming in November and gives us greater reason to make sure we get strong conservatives elected.
You will be a great governor, probably the best governor in the history of Arkansas. And there's another guy that stole your last name that was once governor there. Laura, I'm watching Pennsylvania, for example. It reminds me of Joe Biden hiding in the basement, the media running defense for, in this case, Fetterman. He hasn't answered a single question. He has the most radical positions. We can't allow that to happen. That didn't work out well with Biden, did it?
Oh, it certainly did not work out well for Americans whenever you have somebody able to hide away, not answer questions, campaign out of a basement. And gosh, that video you played of him, honestly, is very concerning. I truly hope that he gets the help that he needs. But Sarah's exactly right. Pay attention, America, because this is what the Democrats want. These are the kind of people that they want elected and representing you in Washington, D.C., if they get their way. And with 75% of Americans right now saying that we are on the wrong track as a country, first of all, I'd like to ask the 25% what's going so great for them. We cannot afford to have anyone close to this representing Pennsylvania or any other state in the Senate right now. Things are so bad in America. And gosh, isn't it so insulting to see the Democrats and Joe Biden come out and tell us what a great job they've all done, that they have made our lives better, that inflation is 0%. It is an absolute insult to Americans. And I think, Sean, that people get it. People feel it every day. They know they're worse off. They know that not only are things more expensive, we're poorer as a country right now. Most people, thanks to Biden and the Democrat policies, just like people like John Fetterman want to put in place. And the only way we are going to get our country back is if we get out and vote. We know how to turn it around. Vote in Republicans, vote out establishment and Democrats. That's what we have to do on November 8th.
By the way, Laura, I hope everybody hears you loud and clear, and especially vote if you're in Arkansas, because your new governor is right there in the middle of your screen.
Yes.
All right. Thank you both.